Aloha from Maui! Kie, Howard Dinits, your friend and realtor. Guess what? People have been asking me, how do you make fermented mustard? Well, I'm going to show you. So first off, there are items that are required and needed, and then there's items that are optional. Let's talk about the required items. So you need some tools. Need a 1/2 gallon mason jar, wide mouth. There's a reason, because not wide mouths are hard to get your hands in and get stuff into. Optional, not listed. Funnel, makes it really easy to get stuff into. Required again. I use Fermentology brand. So you need to get Fermentology wide mouth screw-on lid. Let me just show you how it works. So it's got a silicone liner. And you would screw it on the top. The purpose of this is to create an anaerobic environment. So we're not going to be introducing any oxygen. And also, this eliminates the need to burp the jar. And then guess what? No explosions or surprises. Okay, so then what you then do is you also need to order, and by the way, I shop on Amazon, you shop wherever you like to shop. Fermentology brand, Airlock. So basically this Airlock will sit on top, and you put water to about halfway, and then you put the lid, and that's what creates the anaerobic environment. Okay. The other items that are required are weights. These are glass weights. I also use Fermentology brand. And these sit on the top of all your ingredients to keep everything below the liquid so that when you're fermenting, everything works out great for yourself. Okay, no problems. So we're gonna go ahead and get started a little bit here. I kind of showed you what I got going on. Okay, so we are making spicy mustard, right? So, once again, there's required items and optional items. Let's talk about what you're going to need. And please use this as a template, because then you could just kind of make it your own. So, what do I got? 3/4 cup of organic black mustard seed. Hey, I learned something today. I'm today's years old. Also marketed it as brown mustard seed. So brown, black, you be the judge, it's the same thing. It comes from India. And by the way, if you like it spicy, this is the one that makes it spicy. And if you happen to be a French's mustard kind of guy, well, just forget what I said. Don't use the black mustard at all. Double up. What I've got here is 3/4 of yellow organic mustard. So I do half yellow, half black. You can do all yellow if you don't like it spicy. And then 1/4 cup organic, again, yellow mustard already ground, powder. Add that. All of this is going to go in the mason jar when we're ready. All right. Those are pretty much the only required items, with the exception of 3/4 cup of very cold water and a tablespoon of Himalayan pink salt. So only use the pink salt, Himalayan, don't use any other salt. I recommend doing it fine. Now I said this has to be cold, very cold. So you may need to heat up the water first to dissolve the salt. Stir it up, and then go put it in the fridge so you can get it cold. Because I said it has to be very cold. And the reason why is, I think if you go on the internet, you're going to find that they say that the mustard is better and spicier when you use cold water. So we're using, and you're going to see down here that I have optional items listed here. So optional. You don't want to use the water in that pink salt? Maybe you're already doing fermentations. Maybe you've got a leftover brine from making hot sauce or whatever. That's what I got going on. So I'm going to use 3 cups of a brine from a previous ferment. And that's going to be my starter. And you know what? I'm not even using salt or anything because there's plenty of salt in there already. And I know it's live. And some of the other ingredients I'm adding in here already has lactic acid. Remember, we're doing a lacto fermentation. So you need lactic acid. Mustard's got some lactic acid. Let's talk about those optional items now. What do you got in your kitchen? What do you want in your mustard? What kind of flavor profile? You got garlic? Put it in there. You got pineapple? Put it in there. You got onions? Put it in there. You grew a ghost pepper in your yard? Put it in there.
So when are we going to put it in there?
Habanero. Put it in there.
Okay.
Carrots and garlic? Put it in there. All right, you ready? First ingredient. Optional, but Howard always puts it in, is bay leaf, okay? So, funnel, bay leaf, bam! No more paper needed for a while. Let's have some fun. All right, I'm going to show you how easy this is. So what did I do? I just kind of crumpled up that bay leaf, right? And then we're just going to put it in there. So, yellow mustard seed, organic. Now, if you don't have access to organic, put what you can find, right? There you go. So, black, organic. Be safe. Use the funnel. Then it doesn't end up all over the counter and upset your spouse. So yeah, what did we talk about here? We were talking about all this cool stuff we're putting in. Carrots. Turmeric. Why do I put carrots in there? It's like Howard's secret ingredient. I got to tell you, I put it in hot sauce and I put it in a lot of things for two reasons. Color and sweetness. I don't know anybody else who puts carrots in their mustard, but I do. And then turmeric, same thing. Color and flavoring. So that's what I wanted in my mustard. Then I love garlic. So put it in there. I was lucky. I had a friend come by last night. We enjoyed 1054 Togoshi sushi. And she brought me a pineapple that she bought at the farmer's market. And you know, when someone gives you pineapple, you got to do it. You got to put it in your mustard. You got to put it in your hot sauce. And then you got to make my favorite kraut, and almost everybody's favorite kraut. In fact, I've even been told it tastes like crack. You get cabbage, and you get pineapple, and you get turmeric, and ginger, and Korean spice, and you chop it all up, and you ferment it, and you make an awesome kraut. And you also put some onions in there, and garlic, and whatever else. All right. I digress. Are we having fun? Put it in there. Pineapple. Right? Oh, notice, you know, I'm not caring too much about the size of the chunks as long as it fits in the jar. Because remember, I'm going to blend it later when it's all done. And if I haven't told you that, now you know. All right. Habaneros. Yeah, ghost chili peppers. Bam! All right, onions. Put it in there. All right. Guess what? We're about ready. So, it's all in there. So when you're fermenting, you always want to leave an inch of space of air between the liquid and the top. An inch of space between the top and the liquid. Okay, so remember I said the next step is these weights, right? Because my goal is to keep everything down. I decided to go with 2. You can use 1, whatever. As you can see, I got everything below the glass, right? Okay. Liquid, put it in there. So we talked about it, 2% salt brine, or in this case, I'm using brine from a previous ferment. It's live, it's exciting, it's full of umami, and it's gonna make this killer. So here we go. I'm putting it in there. And the goal is to have enough liquid so that it is above the weights. If for some reason you're here and you're already there and you don't think you want any more liquid, quit. Okay, I'm going to pull this away so you can see. My liquid is pretty much above the stuff. All the stuff is below the liquid. See?
Yeah, it looks like liquid.
All right. So, we're there. I got this ready and I'm going to screw it on. Okay, you just screw it on until it's tight. That's it. Now remember we talked about water. Doesn't matter at this point what water it was. I did in the description or not, I may have not mentioned, but you want to use filtered water. You don't want to use chlorine water in your ferment. In my case, I used brine, so I didn't have to worry about it. But up on that top, on that airlock, it truly does not matter. This is not going to get in here. This is just to create that anaerobic environment. So I'm just using some tap water. As you can see, I'm halfway. Put a lid on it. Now I'm done. And what I always do is I get out a painter's tape. And I don't put the date I started the project. I put the date I'm going to be done with the project. So I know this is going to be done in 3 days, so I'll go out after we're done with the video and put a tape on here, and I'll put the date from 3 days from now. Then all I got to do is open up my fermentation closet or cabinet, and I just open it up and I go, is there anything done today? And if there is, I just pull it out. Then I get out the blender and I will take all of these ingredients and pour it in the blender, blend it however smooth or coarse as I like. I mentioned to you if you go smooth, it'll be really good. So the smoother you blend, the sharper the mustard taste and the more spiciness you'll get. If you leave it coarse, it's not going to be as spicy. And it all just depends on the texture in which you want. So you pick. It's your game. Have fun. Okay, we're done here. Aloha. Please post comments. See you soon.